Let me ask you a very important question. It is actually a very interesting question. You can think like the question is, if machines can think like a human or even better than human, then do you think that they will, like the machine will listen to us? Think about it. So whatever you think, you can just write it in the comment section. So now, without wasting any further time, let's jump right in. Hey there, this is Gaurav. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. All of a sudden, the whole world is talking about AI and AI. Every company is now investing on AI. Lot of AI tools have started coming up. Those are very scary. Jobs seems at risk because of AI. Everyone is now trying to learn AI. In this video, the very important question that I'm going to address is sudden AI boom. Why it's so that AI became so popular in nowadays, and is it something that happened overnight? So I'm going to discuss all this thing in this video. Keep watching till the end. So in the first video where I have already discussed about AI, the basic concept of AI, you can see like the term that I've used like AI, ML and all this, the date that I mentioned, that is very old, like 1959, 1960 and so on. So you can imagine that the mathematical model that I'm talking about, we already had this long time back, almost 50 to 60 years back, right? Then the question is like, why it's so that AI became so popular in just a few years, in just recent time, right? So that is the main question that I'm going to address this in this video. The important thing that I mentioned there, that in order to create an artificial intelligence, something we need that is called learning. Learning means extracting knowledge from data, right? So in order to do learning, we need data. So that is the first key point I can think about, which we didn't have this time. Like this time period, if I talk about 1960 and so on, we didn't have large amount of data. And in order to create a very complicated or very powerful intelligence like human being, we will need huge amount of data. Okay. So now let us do one thing. Let us see the evolution of global data in a chart. So you can see like starting from 2010, the data size is actually increasing rapidly. It is this is like exponential increase, right? Exponentially fast the data is increasing, and by the end of 2025 we are expecting to have data like 175 zettabyte. So if you don't know about zettabyte, let me tell you, 1 zettabyte equal to 1024 actually exabyte, okay, and 1 exabyte equal to 1024 petabyte, and 1 petabyte equal to 1024 actually terabyte and you can think like 1 terabyte equal to actually 1024 gigabyte, and this is equal to actually I mean one, if I say like 1 zettabyte, it is almost equivalent to 10 to the power 12 I would say gigabyte, or 10 to the power 21 I would say bytes, okay, and if you multiply by it you will get bits, okay. So think about it, this data is so large and we are able to gather this data in just one decade, in just few years, right? And it is growing rapidly in exponential curve, right? So that is the first key point. Let me tell you, that is a data that we have started gathering in just few years. You can see this part, okay? But the question is here that how have we gathered such a huge data, very short period of time? Because we have gathered just in a few years, right? And that is a very valid question. Let me answer to this. The answer would be maybe the internet evolution. Correct. So if I talk about internet, so actually the internet that we are seeing today, actually the internet came, it's 1969 by something called ARPANET. So this ARPANET is actually US agency, I would say, and they first invented internet. Now what happened, like this internet came in 1969, but it publicly accessible in 1990s, okay, because of that World Wide Web, okay. So now due to the invention of internet, what happened, everyone in the world got connected. They connected globally. So internet facilitates data gathering by connecting people globally. Before internet, you would have used like a communication medium, might be using some letter or maybe verbal communication, something like that, but now you'll be using internet to communicate, and by doing this you are actually creating, consuming and gathering lot of data, okay. And this data actually this large collection of data actually helping this advancement in AI which we are seeing nowadays, and it is actually gathering from various sources. So now let's talk about the sources. What do you mean by sources here? And that is what called platform evolution. There is a very nice code. Let me tell you that if you are not paying for the product, then you are the product. Sometime you may think like the product that you are using, maybe Facebook, YouTube and so on, you are not paying for it, right? For you maybe it is free, but actually you are the product here, because you are investing your time, right? You are contributing by giving a lot of comment, post and so on. By doing that, you are actually helping them to gather a lot of data. Okay, those data actually coming from various sources. Now, because of the technological evolution in early 20s, like different type of framework, language, tools, we are able to develop very complicated platform like YouTube, Facebook and so on. And this every website and platform is actually working as gathering data. Okay, so any platform you can say they are actually the primary source of gathering data. So you are contributing by doing post, comments, liking, disliking, watching videos and so on. By doing this, actually you are helping them to gather lots amount of data. Okay, and this data which we are gathering or captured by this social media platform or different website, this is really valuable for AI development and training different models. Okay, so now let me talk about couple of breakthrough you should know. The first breakthrough that I can think of is the new name, the deep learning. So that is a rebranding of something called neural network. So a new name was given to neural network. Now you might be thinking why we need to change the name. So for that, let me talk about something called AI winter. So AI winter, you can see here, that is actually a very tough phase for AI. So there were actually two different phases, like 1974 to 19 almost 80s and 1980 to 2000. There are two different phases, I would say, which called as AI winter phase. So right now the boom that you are seeing nowadays in AI, this time there was no evolution happened in AI. No one wants to learn about AI because AI was not giving us any practical application. It was very tough working in AI, and we are also not getting any kind of funding from company. No one was investing and wants to talk about AI. So this is a time when nothing happened in AI actually. Okay. That is what called AI winter phase, very tough for AI. But after that, the new name, that is deep learning, that given by I think Jeffrey Hinton to the neural network. And because of the new name, everyone got interested learning AI. So you know that whenever we are changing the name, it got some marketing value, right? So after this, let me talk about a very important breakthrough that is called ImageNet challenge. So for the first time, we have got one website called ImageNet, which gathered lots amount of image. You can see almost million number of image of different type. So now this ImageNet website gave us a number of image which we can use in AI model to train. Okay, so ImageNet challenge actually is, can you create an AI model and train with this image which can outperform human in terms of classifying an image, maybe which one is maybe a car, dog and so on. Can my AI model outperform human being? That was the main challenge. So by the help of this image, there was a AlexNet, that AI model was created for large scale visual recognition challenge in 2012. You can see the date, by Alex and Jeffrey Hinton. You can see Jeffrey Hinton is the godfather of AI. That is the reason we call him godfather. And they have used deep convolution network. This network we already had, right, long time back. But now because of the access of this ImageNet, which is providing us millions number of image, we are now able to train a very complicated network. So now you can see the AlexNet is now able to predict or able to classify the image, okay, different images, mammals and so on, dogs and so on. And it actually worked better than human. That's why AlexNet won the ImageNet challenge. The next one is game. So deep learning in game. So there was a game called Go game, that is the oldest game, I would say, and very complicated game. Almost we have it 4,000 years back, because here you have to predict the next move. Okay, you can see how many cell we have over here. So now next thing is the another breakthrough, that Google's DeepMind, they created something called AlphaGo, that is an AI model that was again created on the convolution neural network, and that actually outperformed human being, like the one that has the best mind on this game. Okay, so if I show you the chart, you can see here So after 2015, deep learning AI model is actually working far better than human being, and it is keep on improving every year. And this is a time, okay, when everyone got interested in AI, and for the first time we have got some application where actually AI is performing better than human, okay, and we are seeing some practical application. So, and this is a time I would say this is a very good phase for AI where everyone has started investing in AI. Okay. But the thing is, we have gathered the data, that is for sure, right? Because of the internet access and different kind of platform like social media and so on. Will it enough? What else do you need? The question here is, how do I manage this large amount of data? That is a real question. And why I'm talking about it? Because the data that we are gathering from different application, those data are actually not that straightforward. This is something called unstructured data. Means it could be your PDF, music, video, and so on. This data are not that easy to handle or process or store, right? So we need a very effective technique to manage those data and to process those data and handle different diverse type of data over large scale. So now we need something like this, okay? So for that we have got another evolution that is called big data evolution. So actually big data, you can see big means what? Big means huge data. It is in zettabyte that we have seen. So now this big data concept we already had in early 20s, like 2000s, and it is becoming more prominent as data volume grew exponentially. And this happened when the internet bandwidth keep on improving and different type of social media, like Facebook came in 2004, okay? So this kind of social media, they keeps on coming. So now it has to take care something called triple V, that is called volume, and then velocity and variety. Volume means how much data you are getting, how fast you are getting, and what are the different type of data you are getting. So these three things it should handle, and that is handled by this big data. So it is actually focusing on processing large complex data set which traditional data set cannot do efficiently. And there are different framework like Apache Hadoop, Spark, and this kind of tools they started coming up, and with the help of this organization was able to store, process, and analyze complex data over large scale, which was initially challenging. So now we know how to handle the data, right? We know how to gather it, handle it. Now the other question, that is, what about the computational power? But actually, why do you need computational power? See, to train a very complicated large neural network or AI model with large number of data, the mathematical complexity is very huge, and we would need a very powerful computer to do this, right? So for that we have a demand of having a very powerful computational device or computational power in computer. So for that, the next revolution that came, that is a GPU revolution. So GPU means, what we understood is, like, it might be for graphics purpose, right? But it is actually not. So I think the introduction to GPU happened in mid 2000s, and it was a very big turning point, okay? So because GPU actually excels parallel processing, handling multiple tasks in large scale. Like one of the example, like NVIDIA's UDA platform, which was introduced in 2007. So we need GPU here in order to improve or maximize the computational power of computer, which will accelerate the training process of deep learning in very complex neural network. So here you can observe a very interesting thing, like everything which played a very crucial role in AI, they have started coming up one by one parallelly, right? And now what happened, the CPU and GPU, they both will work together, and they will give us a very high computational power to train a very complex large neural network model. But the another thing is, do you think that you will be able to manage this infrastructure like very powerful computer on premises? Okay, I don't think so. It's a good idea, because it will need lot of money, right? Lot of time you have to invest to do this, and you cannot do lot of POCs because it is not that flexible. Because once you are done with the training, then what you will do? So you need something like flexibility. for managing this extensive data and utilizing the power of GPU. For that, another revolution that came, that is another big turning point, that is called cloud computing. Cloud computing actually provides us on-demand access of computing resource like storage, processing power, everything that you are using in computer, you can now use it over internet. So now internet bandwidth also was increasing, like 3G, 4G and 5G and so on. So because of that, we are now able to use the cloud computing very efficiently, and it works like pay as you go. If you are done with the training, then you can just shut it down. You don't need to pay for that. You only have to pay if you are using it, right? And you are that flexible. You don't have any headache. Actually, I would say the most popular cloud provider that we have today, AWS, that came in 2006. You can now see everything is now coming parallelly, which has played a very important role in AI. So now because of this cloud computing, now you can use the powerful GPU, storage and different services that is provided by cloud computing, and to do whatever you want for the AI. Okay, but the thing is, we have been seeing the AI already in last few years. Like if I talk about the recommendation engine, like in YouTube, Facebook, you are getting recommendation, that is because of AI, right? Advertisement. And then if I talk about different product like Alexa, Google Home Mini, so every application they're actually using AI. But why it's so that we have got this boom suddenly? This is because of generative AI. Okay, now for generative AI, let me talk about three big game changer. So the number one is the TensorFlow. So Google has introduced something called TensorFlow. This is a open source machine learning framework. We already had Python and different like NumPy, Pandas and so on. But if I talk about huge data where we might need to manage the GPU very efficiently, for that we might need TensorFlow. And with the help of TensorFlow, now we are able to train a very complicated deep learning model. It came 2015. It is a very big game changer. Also, we have nowadays a different type of framework like PyTorch and so on, but TensorFlow is a very popular one. And another one that is the most important one called transfer network or transfer architecture. Similarly, neural network, type of neural network that introduced in 2017. And this is the foundational architecture for natural language processing called NLP. So this is the most important thing I would say. If we talk about ChatGPT, they are using this transformer. So because of this transformer architecture, we are now able to generate new content. Okay, it is now able to predict the next word that you are saying. So this is another breakthrough or game changer, I would say, from technology point of view or mathematical point of view. Another one is called transfer learning. That is also a very important thing. Let me tell you what it is. So right now in few minutes I'm giving you this content, but to learn this content I have spent a lot of time, right? But I'm giving you just in few minutes. Similarly, we can transfer the learning from one model to another model. So in the next model, you don't have to start the training from the scratch. You just have to learn something more, and then that can be used for specific task. So this is what called transfer learning. Very interesting thing. We can just share or transfer the learning that one model already has. So now we have everything we need to create a very complicated AI model that can give us a very practical application like ChatGPT and so on. Now we have data, we have cloud computing, we have internet, we are continuously gathering data, right? We have different kind of framework like transfer architecture and so on. We know how to use transfer learning, technological framework like TensorFlow and so on. With the help of this, we are able to create a lot of AI tools. Like you can see different type of AI tools, chatbot, video, productivity and so on. They all are actually using very complicated neural network, and they are training with large amount of data over cloud computing. Like if I talk about ChatGPT, they are using Azure cloud provider to train their model. Okay, so now I hope you got the idea about the AI boom. It's not something that happened overnight, but definitely there are a lot of things that played a very important factor here, like data, cloud computing, computational power and so on. And now we are able to create a very complicated interesting AI model. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Take care. Tata. Bye bye.